Welcome back, everybody, and now we're going to talk a little bit about accessing commands. If you want to do anything, you have to command AutoCAD. I want you to draw a line. I want you to draw a circle. I want you to annotate this. So just like when you pick up a pencil before you write anything down or pick up a pen, you have to choose that object and put it to paper. So that's what we do with AutoCAD. So if I wanted to draw something, then I basically go to my drawing section and I see that there's a line there. If I click on that line tool, then my cursor changes to this crosshair, and the crosshair allows me to draw a line. If I made a mistake and want to get out of a command, then I hit escape on my keyboard. So that's the upper left hand button, and I'm out of my command. Now, how do I know that I'm out of my command? I'm looking down here at my command line. All right, so once again, if I'm typing line, that little crosshair, I look down below and I see, specify first point, and it gives me the line command, so I know I'm good there. Also, next to my cursor, I have a set of instructions following me. Right? It says specify first point, and then I've got two boxes, one that's highlighted in blue and one that's gray. The one that's highlighted in blue is my active dialog box, text field, and the gray one is an inactive text field as for right now. So that little on-screen display is known as my dynamic input because it's following my cursor, and it dynamically follows, and I can insert all my information right there at my cursor. If I want to turn that off, I would use the F12 or function 12 key at the very top right hand side of my keyboard, and then that option goes away, but I can still see down here in my command line that I'm still using the line tool. So I'm going to hit F12 again to turn on my dynamic input. You'll notice that you'll see the numbers move, and this is its relation to the UCS. The UCS, as I get closer and closer to that bottom left-hand corner, where the X and Y meet, that's 0, 0 in terms of its graphing coordinates. So as I move more in the X direction or to the right, I can see that the first number, highlighted blue, I'm 29 inches away right now, moving to 44 inches away, and if I travel up, then that second number, now I'm 14 inches above that this red line here, and if I move up a little bit more, I can see that I'm 21 inches. Right? I can swap between those two fields by using the tab key on the left hand side. So I can choose my X value, I can choose my Y value, and I can start with my first point. So that's a dynamic input. I'm going to hit escape and get out of my command, and I'm going to do the same thing just by hovering and leaving my mouse in the middle of the screen, and I'm going to type LINE, and I'm going to hit enter. And this is another way to access a command, is by typing it in. All right, and you see the same dynamic input that we had before. I'm going to hit escape again. Also, if I type L, it has an automatic word feature, so that it's looking for any command that starts with the letter L. And you can see there's a lot of different commands that start with the letter L. So what do I want to do? Do I want to draw a line? Do I want to use LT scale? Do I want to use a layer? What is it that I want to do? So I can choose from the list. Left click, and again, I've started a line yet again. Hit escape, and another option is to actually click into the command bar and type the word line and hit enter. And again, this accesses the line tool. So a lot of different ways to do the same thing. We've gone over the command line a little bit. I'm going to hit escape. You can see if we hit this little arrow on the command line, We actually have a history of everything that we've done. So it looks like we've used the line tool or invoked the line command several times, which is what we did. So that looks good. And basically, this is how you're going to be accessing various commands. You're going to pick something from the ribbon. You're going to type something in an empty screen, or you're going to go down into the command line and you're going to type as well. If I start with C, you also see that that little pop-up comes up and says, well, what starts with C that you want to use as a tool, as a command? We can draw a circle, we can copy information, we can close, we can do a whole host of, we can pull out a calculator if you want to. Whatever it is that you want to do, we can then choose from that list and have that work. So I am going to invoke the circle command, and I want to just talk about what is specifically in the command bar here, the command line. And very important to know that the hard brackets, right, the hard bracket there and the hard bracket on the end, anything that's inside of those hard brackets are keyboard inputs. So for instance, if I wanted to change the type of circle that I was going to be drawing, it says right now specify the center point for the circle, or right, I have options in my hard brackets. So I have 3P, 2P, and TTR. These options are up in here under the circle tool, so you might have a little bit of better understanding of what they are. But there's 2P, there's 3P, and TTR. So those are some of the options that we have. You'll notice that some of these are linked. They're colored blue, which means that they're hyperlinked. So all I have to do is left click on this 3P or the 2P or the capital T in TTR, and it will change, let me do that, to that particular type of circle. And then I follow the prompts. Specify a point on an object for the first tangent of the circle. So I'm going to hit escape to get out of the command. I'll invoke it this way. So the only other thing that I want to say about these commands that are in the hard brackets, if you're using an earlier version, you're not going to have these hyperlinked. These buttons are not going to work, but you have to take a look at what is capitalized. And whatever is capitalized, that is your keyboard shortcut. So I can use 3P on the keyboard, type that in, and it'll change over. 2P on the keyboard, and it'll change over. Now for the tangent radius, the shortcut is TTR. If you just type T, there's T, and then hit enter, then it brings me to that type of circle that I want to draw. So looking down in the command line is very important. Again, I'm going to hit escape to get out of that drawing tool. And every single command that is up here has its own list of commands that you can then switch depending on what it is that you're doing and how far into the command, how many steps that command has to take before you actually finish drawing something. So that is the quick and dirty of using and accessing commands from the ribbon or from typing or from the command line.